One of the hard things that I had to deal with was when I came back was there was no appreciation at all.
Hi, I'm Steve McCurdy with Give Them a Medal, and we're going to talk to former Marine Mo Jepsen today.
I was in the Marine Corps in 1964 through 1968.
Well, Mo, Marines are not drafted. They're all volunteers, and they go through incredibly rigorous training. So why did you put yourself up for that?
Well, when I got out of high school, I wasn't ready for college. In fact, I was interested in the military.
Why?
And
Why?
Well, a lot of my friends were going in. They were going in the Army or Navy or whatever. And then in school they had a day where they had the four services were represented by recruiters. They came up on the stage, and we were all sitting. All the boys came into the auditorium, and when I saw that Marine up there, that was it.
That did it for you.
Yeah, that did it for me.
Well, what did serving your country in uniform do for you?
Well, I can tell you this, that the 4 years that I served in the Marine Corps, that was a defining moment in my life. I think it really straightened me out. When I was a kid, I was wild and crazy, and I could have gotten into trouble if I had tried very easily. But I got into the Marine Corps. It taught me self-reliance. It taught me discipline. It taught me also that, in fact, I was thinking of staying in the Marine Corps, but I didn't want to stay in as an enlisted man. That's why I wanted to get it made me see the light, in effect, that I needed to get that college degree, which is what I did.
Well, then what was it like as a kid? Were you aware that there was a war, a Cold War going on around you?
First of all, I was born in Denmark. I immigrated to this country back in the 50s. And this is my country now. And I was very proud to serve in the Marine Corps. And I'm very proud of this country. And I want the best for this country. And the Cold War period was a time of concern for a lot of people. I mean, the potential for nuclear conflict was, it scared everybody.
So you did the duck and cover drills under the desk?
Oh yeah. We had in school. We had they would have these drills where we would have to get under our desks. You go out, and underneath all the stairwells, there would be storage of canned water, big cartons or big cans of water and food supplies. They were all packed away in any nook and cranny they could have.
Well, a lot of young people today think the Cold War was just the Cuban Missile Crisis a couple of weeks in the early 60s. What would you say to them now?
Well, I think today what I would say to the young people about that time, the 50s and the 60s, God, you guys are lucky today because you don't have that constant worry of, hey, at any time something major could happen, a nuclear war could start, because that was prevalent on everybody's mind at that time. And so in society at the time, I mean, people, they dug bomb shelters in their backyards. In fact, I helped a neighbor of mine dig a large hole, which he then concreted in to make a bomb shelter.
Well, you were 19 years old. You were a Marine in Vietnam. What did you think your mission was? What did you think? What were you aware of?
As you know, that the domino theory was very prevalent, and so we kind of felt.
Explain that to me.
Well, the domino theory, I guess, was that if any country that fell to communism would then lead to another country to fall to communism, and to another, and eventually we would be facing communism here in the United States. So we were fighting it and trying to stop it. I mean, that was one of our, in effect, missions that we were doing in Vietnam.
When you left Vietnam and went to Quantico, what were you responsible for there?
I taught hand-to-hand combat, bayonet fighting, obstacle and confidence course. I was a jock. I mean, one of the hard things that I had to deal with was when I came back was there was no appreciation at all. In fact, when we went on liberty to go off base, we were asked not to wear our uniforms, because if you wore your uniform, there was a chance that somebody would attack you, and that was awful. I couldn't believe it.
That was pretty widespread, that attitude toward the military.
Usually around the base, there was pretty good communication and pretty good interaction between the civilians and the military. Right. It was when you went into Washington, D.C., or if you went into New York or Philadelphia, that was where there'd be a lot of demonstrators and demonstrate against the war, and they showed it with I felt poor feelings towards anybody in uniform, or anybody with a short haircut, because
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you could go back and do everything over again, what choices would you make?
If I had to do over again, I'd do the same thing.
Even though they were going to shoot at you, even though you were going to trap through jungles with 4 guys?
Vietnam, like I said, was a defining moment, certainly. There were some tough times, but when I think of Vietnam, I try to think of the good times. And so it was Christmas, and there must have been maybe 40 or 50 Marines sitting around there on boxes, and we were drinking beer, just having a good time. And some Marine somewhere had gotten a Santa Claus suit, and he had put the Santa Claus suit. So he came in, and we all took turns coming and sitting on his lap and having our pictures taken. In fact, the picture is on, I think it's up on the wall there. Anyway, then somebody got a guitar, and we started singing Christmas carols. And we were just having a great time. And then somebody started Silent Night. And there wasn't a dry eye in the place.
Even among Marines?
Not even amongst all those Marines, I'll tell you. It was, I'll never forget the moment.
When you see servicemen in public places now, how's that different than it was then?
Well, you go through an airport and you see soldiers, sailors in uniform, and there is that feeling from the people that see them. They nod, they say hello, and they say, hey, thank you for your service. And that, I think, is a much better way to treat, certainly, the people that the men and women that serve in our armed forces today. Because after Vietnam, or during Vietnam, it was really sad.
Well, for several years there have been a number of veterans groups that have tried to get Congress to become aware of the contribution of Cold War veterans. And in fact, there are a number of co-signers of a bill in Congress right now to get the Cold War veterans recognized. In the meantime, a number of National Guard units and veterans groups have already endorsed a medal. And it's my pleasure today to present you with the United States Cold War Commemoration Medal on their behalf.
Well, thank you.
It's long overdue, but thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate this very much. This is very nice. Thank you.
During one of the greatest periods of tension that America and the world have ever faced, its veterans have gone unrecognized and largely unthanked, and we're here to change that.
I mean, one of the hard things that I had to deal with when I came back was there was no appreciation at all.
We want to give them a medal. Go to GiveThemAMedal.com and learn how to honor your Cold War veteran and to have them be next as we cross America to give them a medal.